Hey guys, Ernie here. Welcome to the Paleo Hiker MD channel. For years, I have used a standard kind of 750 milliliter titanium pot to make my coffee on trail or out on day hikes, whatever it might be. I have a koozie for it. It works okay. It doesn't work very well. And this winter, I was out doing my thing and I had a very similar experience to what I've had in many times in the past. My coffee got cold. And I finally decided, I've got to do something about this. And that's what today's video is about. Stay tuned. I'm going to tell you guys how I solved the cold coffee problem. Thanks for watching, guys. We've got a deer incoming. It's hiding behind a tree. Deer wants to be in the video. Now, I've looked at insulated titanium mugs for years, but the bottom line is for a long time, they were so expensive. I mean, like $100 for a little insulated titanium mug. And finally, things have gotten cheap enough, and I started looking the other day. I was like, I can do this. This is not that bad. I can do this. But they also tended to be too small. I really like a decent cup of coffee. I don't want an 8-ounce cup of coffee. I'd like 12, 14 ounces of liquid when I make my coffee. So finally, I was able to find a version of this that was big enough and inexpensive enough for me to consider picking one up. This one is from the company Boundless Voyage. Let me show you guys what I got. Okay, so this cup is branded Boundless Voyage. I'm sure you can probably find a lot of different brands on Amazon or wherever you decide to get it, AliExpress. This one is branded Boundless Voyage. You can see right there, it says 450 milliliters titanium. You could probably get it a lot cheaper on AliExpress as well. This is the 3-in-1 double-walled titanium cup, 450 milliliters. I'll tell you why it's called 3-in-1 here in a second. It's not that exciting, to be honest with you. Dimensions are 95 by 88 millimeters, or 3.7 by 3.4. The thickness is 3 millimeters, just under 1/8 of an inch. You can see right there, pretty nice. Weight is 3.6 ounces or 104 grams. Capacity is 450 milliliters, like I said, or 15.2 ounces. So pretty decent amount of fluid. Material is titanium, made in China. Very reasonable price. We talked about $25. I think that's a pretty good deal. It's called the 3-in-1 because they make 3 sizes and you can fit them all inside of each other. There's a 180 milliliter that fits inside of the 300 milliliter, which fits inside of this 450 milliliter. Pretty straightforward. It's an insulated mug, right? There's not a whole lot to it. It will fit perfectly inside of a 750 milliliter mug pot, like one you might get from Tokes. It fits right in there very, very well. The titanium won't rust. There's no metallic taste or smell when you eat or drink out of it. I've used this quite a bit. I've started traveling with it, and it's becoming part of my travel kit, which is pretty cool. It is surprisingly lightweight. Like when you hold it, when I first got it out of the box, I was pretty surprised with just how lightweight it is. Now, one thing that's interesting is that titanium tends to dissipate heat very quickly. This also does not have a top. So if you're like me, it'll probably work fine because I don't ever really allow my coffee to get very cold because, let's face it, I drink it quickly. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the insulation and we're going to test the insulation of this mug. We are going to test it with a top because I think that's a more reasonable thing. I'm going to make some coffee here real quick and we're going to check the temperature. We're going to check the temperature after 15 minutes and then again after 30 minutes. If you go more than 30 minutes drinking your coffee, I think there's a problem with you. But let's see what kind of heat retention we get when we make our coffee. Then we check the temperature right away. We're going to make it on a Keurig, so really simple. I don't know exactly how hot it's going to be. We're going to check it on a Keurig, then we're going to check it in 15 minutes, and check it again in 30, and see what kind of heat retention. After we do that, we will go ahead and talk about this mug and what I think about it and where I see myself using it the most. All right, so let's talk about this mug. I think that those numbers are pretty good. It lost heat, but it didn't lose it tremendously fast. And again, I drink my coffee pretty quick, so it's not going to be an issue, but some of you guys will want to know that. I think that for the price, a 450 milliliter mug, for the price, I think it's hard to beat. I think it's finally caught up to the point where the expectations of what you want and the expectations of what you're willing to pay for a product are finally where they need to be to make this product worth getting. I've always said that when I'm making a cook kit, I prefer one vessel to boil water in and cook in, and one to drink my coffee out of. For $25, this one slips right into a 750 milliliter mug pot or pot. This one is perfect. If you count every single ounce, then you probably will not want to justify it. Now, I count my ounces, I'm very careful, but there are certain things I like, and a warm cup of coffee in the morning is something I'm willing to put a little more effort in to carry. There are certain things I won't put effort in to carry, but a titanium double-walled heat insulating coffee blanket is something I will spend an extra couple ounces on. When you hold this item the first time, like I said during the video, when you hold it the first time, it's almost like it just doesn't compute. It looks like it should weigh so much more than it does. You're used to these Yetis. They weigh a lot, you know. I do wish this had a lid. That would be nice. But of course, they're trying to keep the cost down and they're trying to keep the weight down, so I get it. But it is pretty amazing how lightweight it actually is. Like I said, the only thing missing is a lid. I'm sure there's a way that I could get one to fit. I'm going to start investigating if I could find kind of an off-the-shelf lid. The lid will probably weigh as much as the whole thing, which is kind of a bummer. But nonetheless, that's the only thing missing. Otherwise, this is a very simple video. This is a double-walled or insulated coffee mug that's made out of titanium. What else is there to say? As I said above, if you want a smaller version, they make smaller versions. I don't want something smaller. I like this amount of coffee, so it works perfect. But if you're interested, they're even cheaper. Check them out down below. I have a playlist on all kinds of coffee-related stuff. It's called Coffee in the Woods. I don't know how many videos are on there, but this one's going to go on there. This also probably will go on to my gear review playlist. I have all kinds of gear reviews. Do me a favor, guys, if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. It does help spread things across YouTube. Comment, that helps as well. But the biggest thing you can do for me is subscribe to the channel. I really want to get to that 100,000 subscriber mark. And the only way I'm going to do it is if you're kind enough to subscribe. So I would ask you to do that. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Again, I've probably looked at these insulated mugs over the last 4 or 5 years many times, and I finally saw a price and said, I will spend that money. I'm finally going to not have cold coffee in the woods anymore. As always, guys, I appreciate you checking out the Paleo Hiker MD channel. Stay tuned for more videos soon.